So my next guy, man, it hurts right here. Trey Lance. You guys watch the show. I'm a 49er fan and seeing him go down. I knew he was going to get hurt at some point, but it sucks that it was so early in the season. I do think a lot of teams are done at this point. I mean, the Superflex League, we were talking about this all offseason. You and me both were on the same page. It's just too risky to invest that much capital into a round 1-2 quarterback that hasn't proven it yet. Now, I think Lance is still going to be good. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And now he has a full year to think about what he's going to do. And if you're rebuilding, I think he's the perfect type of quarterback to get right now. I think this is his lowest value has ever been. And like you already weren't really, well, you and me weren't really anticipating a huge year anyway. So if you're rebuilding, I think you can get him for a very affordable price right now, unlike any other previous time. And if you're playing for next year, or even if it's a one quarterback league and you're sitting okay with maybe an older guy, maybe let's say your quarterback's Matt Ryan. In a one quarterback league, it's not the best, it's not the worst, Carson Wentz. But if you can just shelf someone like Trey Lance for next year at an affordable price, I think Lance is a great get right now. What do you think, Bryce? I know you're always kind of off on Lance a little bit. Is this still not your cup of tea given the situation?
Yes and no. So I guess I agree and I disagree on a couple of things. So what I agree with is I think Trey Lance has the potential, right? Like his ceiling with the tools that people think he has is current Jalen Hurts. Would you agree with that? Like an elite rusher that has also the big playability in the pass game. If he can polish up some, Jalen Hurts has gotten better every year. So if Trey Lance can get better every year, we would think, okay, maybe he could become something like Jalen Hurts. That's who I compare him to in the league right now with the way their play style. The problem for me is I think that it's going to be hard to get Trey Lance cheap. Like I'm thinking that if I drafted Trey Lance last year, I probably spent a top 3 pick, probably. I got all pumped up this offseason. Okay, and I finally get to see my pick go out and play. And he underwhelmed, right, in week 1. But it was a horrible situation for really any quarterback. It's not like Justin Fields went out there and lit it up, and he's probably picked a couple spots after. It was a monsoon. You really couldn't open up the full playbook in a situation like that. Then he gets in here in week 2 and really doesn't get to show anything. So it's like you still invested all this draft capital, right, in that 2021 class, and you're not going to see it back. So I think that if you can get him, sure, but I think it's going to be difficult to find the owner that is willing to go ship him yet, is what I think. Because if they got him in 2021, they probably had a top pick, so their team wasn't very good. They probably didn't see any return on the players that they got in that draft, so they probably weren't very good this past season. They might have got a top pick, but is that one pick going to make them great this year? Probably not. So they might be terrible again this year, and they might just want to get a top pick again. It feels like I might be overthinking it, but I just think it's going to be difficult to get him for the right price still. That's the only thing. But if you can, it can't hurt to try.